Hello class, my name is Yonath Gonzalez, and today I'm giving my PowerPoint presentation on the effects of growth hormones in milk. Slide number 1. What is milk? Milk is a natural white liquid that is produced by the mammary glands. Milk is known to be very nutritious and contains significant amounts of protein, calcium, and vitamin C. What's the controversy? There have been numerous studies that show that milk consumption can cause health issues. This is due to the added growth hormones that are being injected into cows to improve their milk production rate. The growth hormones that are being injected into cows are the genetically engineered recombinant bovine growth hormone and insulin-like growth factor 1. What is RBGH, also known as RBST? This is, as stated earlier, the recombinant bovine growth hormone. It is genetically engineered hormone that is a copy of the RBGH or RBST hormone that cows naturally produce. This hormone is injected into dairy cows and milk production increases by 10 to 15%. So farmers are a big fan of this hormone. In 1993, the Food and Drug Administration approved the use of the recombinant bovine growth hormone in dairy cows. As of 2002, approximately 22% of dairy cows were injected with RBGH. What is IGF-1? IGF-1 stands for insulin-like growth factor 1. It is a naturally produced growth factor hormone in mammals. The RBGH is responsible for the secretion of the IGF-1 hormone. RBGH stimulates the liver to increase the production of IGF-1, and in turn, the cow's milk contains higher levels of this hormone. RBGH makes IGF-1 levels increase by up to 10 times the natural occurring amount. IGF-1 can't be destroyed through the process of pasteurization. Surprisingly enough, it actually increases the level of IGF-1 even more after it goes through that significant process. Next slide is what are the risk factors? There are many risk factors associated with these growth hormones, such as weight gain, cancer, such cancers such as breast cancer, vaginal cancer, colon cancer, and prostate cancer. Another risk factor is early puberty. This growth hormone has said to offset the early puberty of young ladies today. Allergies related to milk are also a huge factor associated with this growth hormone. How does RBGH milk containing IGF-1 affect humans? After milk containing RBGH is consumed by a human, the human digestive system does not destroy the IGF-1. The IGF-1 is actually absorbed by the intestinal walls and goes into the bloodstream. Once it is absorbed by the bloodstream, it affects other hormones that naturally occur in the human body. How does RBGH and IGF-1 increase the risk of specific kinds of cancer? IGF-1 increases the rate of transformations of normal breast cells into cancerous cells. It also assists the growth of human breast cancer cells by aiding in their invasiveness and ability to spread to other distant organs. IGF-1 also greatly increases a person's risk of getting colon cancer and prostate cancer, as stated earlier. My next slide is about how does RBGH affect the cows. Dairy cows that have been injected with RBGH are more prone to many health issues. The cows suffer from problems such as lameness, reproductive issues, and udder infections. Udder infections is a big problem because when dairy cows become ill and get infections, they are given big dosages of antibiotics. These antibiotics, in turn, appear in the milk that humans consume. So, we get antibodies for an infection that we do not have. My next slide is about how can I avoid milk from cows that have been given this hormone. It is definitely possible to avoid drinking milk that comes from dairy cows injected with this hormone. First off, and a very easy way of doing this is buying organic. Yes, it may be more expensive, but in the end, it will be much healthier for you. You can also start by reading the labels. Milk that contains RBGH is required by the FDA to state it on the label. Labels may also have a clear RBGH or RBST free stamp on it, so it's very easy and clear to avoid. Supermarkets have also been protesting these farmers that are using these hormones because they are concerned for the customers that are drinking this milk. This next slide, this is a graphical summary of the process of injecting the hormone to human consumption. I would like to emphasize that increased infection risks associated with the hormone and how subsequent antibiotics administration in the cow leads to human exposure to these antibiotics. As I said before, this gives the effect of like getting treated for an infection that you in turn do not have. There's a few interesting facts that I've also learned throughout doing my research. First off, American milk is banned in Europe. I thought that was very interesting because why is it good enough for us but not for them? Well, apparently Europe is trying to save themselves from save their citizens from having to deal with these growth hormones. American-made cheeses also contain RBGH and levels of IGF-1 unless it specifically states so in the label. So next time you go to Publix, make sure to look for your no RBGH cheese. Or just buy some that come directly from Europe. Lastly, there are 6 other hormones currently approved by the FDA that are used in foods that we eat and are injected into animals. I thought this was very interesting because even though we know the effects of hormones in our food, we continue to do so and do it in many other cattle and everything else that we consume. I hope you have enjoyed my PowerPoint presentation, and I hope that it was very informative. Thank you and have a good night.